This virus continues to write its own rules, and that means that we must continue to be adaptable in how we continue to fight it. And that's what we have done today as we've come together. Today's meeting was an opportunity to accept the recommendations of the expert medical panel, the AHPPC, and in responding to my request to have a set of improved measures to tighten the end-to-end process of international arrivals in Australia, and both from the time of embarkation and entry into the airport all the way through to their acquittal from the formal quarantine period. It was also an opportunity to provide an update to states and territories on what we briefed you on here yesterday on the rollout of the national vaccine program, and that was very well received. And I thank all states and territories for their engagement in that process, and we substantively dealt with that issue yesterday. It was also, straight off the bat, important to review the situation in Queensland, as well as get updates on New South Wales and in Victoria. The situation in Brisbane is a serious situation. Yes, we know there is only one case, but what we do know is that this new strain is some 70% more transmissible than the previous strains of the virus. This strain is likely to become, in the very near future, the dominant strain, as it largely already is, Paul, in the UK. But we anticipate that this will become the more dominant strain of the virus globally. And so the idea that it somehow can be contained just out of the United Kingdom is a false hope. As I said, 80% of the Australians looking to come back are in countries that have had exposure to that strain of the virus. And so it is a very wise decision by the Queensland Government, by Premier Palaszczuk, to put in place the precaution she has over the next few days. It moves so quickly, far more quickly than previous strains of the virus, and that means we need to give our contact tracers that head start to ensure that they can track down and run down all of the contacts from this individual and ensure that they can be identified, isolated, that people in the appropriate places can get the testing. And we'll see the same, I'm sure, response to the call for testing in Queensland as we've seen in Victoria and we've seen in New South Wales, that has been so effective in containing the spread of the most recent outbreaks that we've seen there. But in Brisbane, we're dealing with a different situation. There are many unknowns and uncertainties in relation to the new strain. And so that's why this precautionary approach, we believe, is very sensible and has the full support of our Chief Medical Officer, the AHPPC, all the Premiers, the Chief Ministers and, of course, myself, as I indicated earlier today. This will, hopefully, ensure that we do not see this go to the next level.